Hello everyone, this is Mundan Nagavan. Today we are going to see loops inside the Go language. Generally loops in the sense you will be using the while loop and for loop. But in case of Go language, we don't have different things like while loop and the for loop. By using the same syntax for the for, we can use the for loop as well as the while loop. Let's see how it works inside the Go language. By considering any language, you will have the simple for loop having three parameters or three arguments, which is nothing but your initialization and the condition checking and then incrementation or the decrementation. So how it works is like first it will initialize the value, then it will execute the block of code, then it increment the variable, then it will check for the condition. If it is true, it will again go into the block, otherwise it will come out of the block. This is a simple understanding about the for loop. Here you can clearly see I initialization and the condition checking is I is less than 5 and the incrementation is I plus plus. So let's execute how it works. Before that, just save it. Okay, fine. Now go main. Sorry, go run main.go. Here you can see simple loop 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which is nothing but our incrementation and the condition checking, everything went fine. Once it reaches the 5 value, it came out of the for loop. Similar to other languages, we have the continue and the break statement. Let's say if I have the condition, if I is equal to, let's see, put the simple condition. If I is equal to 3, then continue. So continue, what it will do is, it will skip the current execution or current block. It will go to the next iteration. For example, it will check for the 0, it will execute the block of code. 1, it will execute, 2, it will execute, 3, it will check, it will continue means it will exclude all the statements after the continue. It will go to the next iteration, which is nothing but 4. Let's understand this and let's see how the output comes. Here you can see only the loop has value 3 has been excluded. So because of that, we can clearly understand continue excludes the current loop. Then what about the break? So break will totally break the if loop, sorry, for loop, and it will come out of the for loop. For example, it will start with 0, 1, 2. Whenever it reaches the 3, it will break. So that means the totally for loop will be stopped. It will come out of the for loop. Sorry, I have not saved the code. Just save it. Here you can say 0, 1, 2, and whenever it reaches the 3, it breaks the for loop and it came out of the for loop. So this is the simple understanding about the for loop. Then just comment this code so we will understand the next for loop type. Now we are going to see the while equivalent. Let's say we have seen three parameters or the three areas where we need to mention the initialization, condition checking, and the incrementation. So this for loop you will go when you have the clearly having the number of iterations that you want to do on the particular block of code. Let's say I want to do for 4 times, then I will go with this kind of for loops. But let's say I don't know the number of iterations that I want to do, but I know when it has to stop. So based on some condition, it has to stop. It may happen at any time, it may happen at any chance. So for that reason, you will be having the while loop in other languages. But in Go language, we can use the same for loop, but by mentioning only the condition. Let's say here, I'm just initializing the value I is equal to 0. And then after I'm mentioning the condition I is less than 5. Then I'm printing the statement conditional loop or while equivalent I value. Then I'm incrementing the I plus plus. So that means that whenever I have complete something, let's say if I have some condition, then only I will increment the I value in this case. But whereas in the previous step, every loop will increment the I value, then it will check for the condition. Here while loop is nothing like that. It will be like whenever you want to increment, you can increment. Based on some condition, you can put some if loop. Then based on the condition, you can increment or it will keep on repeating the same loop. So let's say execute this code and we will understand more. Save the code. Here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, same way like previous output, but however we are incrementing by ourselves I plus plus. If you don't want to increment, then it will be executing based on your conditions. It is very equivalent to your while loop. Whenever the condition, as long as the condition is true, I is equal to less than 5, it will be keep on repeating the same loop. Let's say if I don't mention this code, what will happen is it will become the infinity. Let's say if I try to execute, you can clearly see it will be keep on incrementing. Keep on printing the same statement again and again because we are not incrementing the I value or we are not making any changes to the I value. Okay, let's say another type of for loop inside the Go languages by using the range. So unlike normal variable initialization, or let's say based on the condition you are doing something, here you can do something called range. So range will be very useful when you deal with arrays or let's say some kind of maps. So let's understand this code. So here you can have just array, int array, then it will be having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine. And then after I am having for loop starts with for, and I am having the two variables I and v, which is nothing but your index value and the value. And equal to, I'm just assigning the range object, or let's say range of array. So that means that whenever you use the range of array or the array variable, so it will be taking the index every time and it will be taking the value for that index. For every time it will be taking the first index, let's say 0, and in value will be the 3, and 1 value will be 4. Like that it will be keep on just going till the end of the array, or whatever the array you are giving, till the end of the array it will just go into the loop. So in our case, what we will be seeing is like 0, 3, 1, 4, let's say 2, 5, and so on. So let's save this code and execute. Here you can clearly see, since we have, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. So you can see the indexes starts from 0 to 5 and the values are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So in the same way, whatever the array you are giving, you don't need to just get the length of that and mention in the for loop, let's say something like initialization size of the array and I++. Directly you can use the range keyword and you can pass the array so that you will be getting always the IN value, index value, and the value of that array or the map. But sometimes you don't need to use the index. So that time if you just mention I loop and if you don't mention I inside your for loop, you will be getting error like you have not used the I value. For example, just try this again, you will be getting the error like I was not used. Here see, I is declared but not used. To avoid this issue, you want to use it, but let's say you don't want to display anywhere. So that time you will be just replacing with the underscore. So that means that whenever you don't want to use any variable, still it is mandatory to mention that variable holder or variable inside your for loop. You can use the underscore symbol. So now you won't get any errors. It will goes fine. Here you can see range 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the values. So this way we can just exclude, or we can just ignore the index of the variable. But however, if you want to use the index as well, you can use the variable for that. Okay, then what about the just for condition? So far we have seen the different ways of for loop by using only the, let's say the condition, or let's say initialization, condition, and the incrementation. And we have seen the range as well for the for loop. But sometimes you will be having the infinity loop. Let's say if you don't have anything such as like initialization, condition, and incrementation, even condition or range, nothing. You just mention the for keyword and you are having some block of code. So that means that this will go into the infinity loop. So that means that it will be keep on repeating until unless you do some break operation or the return operation inside your code. It may be your keyboard action, it can be like any listener's action, so it can be anything. So whenever you get something, some input from the user by means of, let's say loops, or let's say the screen, whatever maybe it may be, it will just break it there. So based on your condition, it will be keep on doing. For example, now I'm having one statement, infinity loop, press Ctrl C to break. Here I'm using the keyboard interruption. Let's execute this code and understand what happens. Here you can see it will be keep on repeating the same loop infinite of times. So just to break this one, I am using the keyboard interrupt, Control C. Then it will interrupt that loop. It will stop there. So this way you can achieve the infinite loop, but you can just break it by using any break statements by the user from the keyboard, or let's say some other devices. So this is about the Go language for loops. So you have seen only the for keyword. By that you can achieve the infinity loop. And after that you have seen the for loop with the range, and you have seen the for loop with only condition which is equivalent to your while, and you have seen the for loop, traditional for loop, which has the initialization and the condition checking and the incrementation. So this way we have understood the for loop inside our Go language. So thanks for watching and have a great day.